One of the earliest memories that had stuck with me as a little girl was playing around on the grass in the community area of the house I used to live in. My bare foot touching the soil and getting dirty. I remember having the feeling of harmony, peace, and joy, and completely being in the present. These days, I often find myself thinking back to those moments of joy, which didn't require expensive lifestyle, a good paying job, and other things that we've been taught about success and happiness by society standards. So I've been trying to recreate that feeling of joy that I felt as a young girl in my everyday life without needing to run away to another city or country or to buy expensive things, but rather to accept exactly where I am now and to find the magic and joy in the everyday life. Finally, the weather here in the UK has started to improve. Today, it is a beautiful and sunny day outside. And when we get this kind of day, we have to try and make the most of it because they can be sometimes very few and far between. So I've decided to go to the park and do some reading. And perhaps if I'm feeling adventurous, I might do some painting as well. Let's see. I think sometimes we can overlook the joy we get from everyday, ordinary things and let them pass by because we think it's not so important. Many of us, including myself, as we get older, we may find ourselves becoming less playful and experimental. Which reminds me of the quote I recently read. We don't stop playing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop playing.
Say something like you love me and make my day, like you always do, like you always do. Hold my hand and really.
I understand usually as adults we tend to get more responsibilities and commitments and often give ourselves permission to feel joy at an organised event like birthday parties or holidays or music events. But maybe if we learn to slow down, look around us, be mindful of our surroundings, I think we can find joy and happiness in our everyday lives. As someone who had always thought that happiness and joy was something I had to work really hard for, and I had to achieve something external, I'm learning to appreciate the small things I normally wouldn't have paid much attention to and perhaps taken for granted. Like today in the park, as I walk along, I can hear the calm and soothing sound of the birds singing on the trees and watching the ducks and swans floating effortlessly with such grace and ease. It makes me think, perhaps that's what I need to do more of in my life. Be more in flow, be more in ease, not to force anything, and to trust the process. Until the past few years, I've always put my hobbies aside and made excuses of not having enough time, and that work and other things in life is much more important. But I've realized that the time will never be right. There will always be something that gets in the way. I've learnt we have to make the time, whether that's saying no to the things that we really don't want to do, that drain us, that don't make us feel good, so that it can open up time for the things that we really want to do, that bring us joy and fulfillment. I loved arts and crafts growing up as a child and at school. However, that all got put to the side because life got in the way. Doing simple activities like art is an example that it really doesn't have to cost a lot, or to be in an exotic location somewhere to find joy. Would you agree with me? Is there a hobby or something that you wanted to do for a long time, but putting it off or putting it to a side because you feel like you don't have enough time, you're too busy, or it's not important? After spending the afternoon in the park, it was time for a nice cup of tea when I got home and some homemade cookies. Could there be anything more joyful than drinking a cup of tea with some biscuits? It really is the simple things in life that can make us happy. Well, in this case, a cup of tea really makes me happy.
Hold my hand and look me in the eyes so I can tell you how I feel. Tell you how I feel. Every day is something new if I spend it with you.
I hope this video has inspired you a little bit to change your perspective of everyday life. I think sometimes we can forget that finding joy doesn't have to be so complicated. If we stop, take a moment, look around, we can find joy and magic in our ordinary lives all around us. I would like to thank you for watching this video. If you've enjoyed this video and find it useful, I hope you would consider subscribing to help this channel grow. I'd really appreciate that. I hope you're all doing really well, and I look forward to seeing you soon in the next video. Take care. Bye.